Okay, so between the G15 or the G21, which is their long throw machines, and the professional line, because Griot's Garage labels this as a professional line now, and this is just for enthusiasts. This is labeled as, this is the GG6, the Griot's Garage 6-inch polisher. This is actually a 5-inch backing plate, so I use a 5-inch pad. I just call it the GG6 because that's what they name it on their website and such. They don't really label it as a 5-inch, they label it as a 6-inch. So that's what I always call it, a GG6. That's kind of how everyone else calls it as well. So this is their GG6. Again, you can put a 5-inch, 6-inch, or 3-inch backing plate with the Boss System polishers. Here specifically the G15, you could put on a 5-inch or 6-inch. You can't go down to a 3-inch. And the main difference between these two is that, like this one, the GG6, it has an 8mm throw, meaning just for super simplicity's sake, it just once you turn it on, the pad is gonna travel 8mm out in rotation. Whereas the G15 is going to travel 15mm out, so it's almost traveling twice as much as your GG6. So that means you're able to cut through a lot more through the paint, whether you're correcting or polishing, because it's traveling a lot farther than in the GG6. And this holds true for just about any long throw machine now, whether it's Rupes or any other long throw. That's the big gist of it. But amongst all of that, if for like, I get asked, what polisher should I use? I'm just starting off my business, what I do. First, if you're doing this as a hobby and like you strictly just have a passion and like buying tools and like working on your personal car, and it's strictly just a hobby, I mean, get as many tools and products as you want. I mean, if you have the money and it is just something you like to go into the garage every weekend or so and have a beer, be with your friends, just buy as many as you like. There's really no problem there if you have the money for it. But if you don't have the money for it, or you just still want to be conscious about it, when you're first starting off, right? And again, it depends if you're doing it as a business, as a hobby, if you have customers, if you don't have customers, if you have money, if you don't have money, what's your budget, how many times are you going to be detailing. All those things must be taken into consideration. But the obvious choice is always going to be the better and newer and sexier and slimmer and smoother and upgraded version of anything, right? So like if you compare these two, just side by side comparison, I mean, like this one looks way better, it looks more ergonomical, it looks more modern, right? It looks sexier, it looks nicer. Like, you just want to go for this one. Now the price tag is quite different. I want to say the last time I checked, I should have checked again before this video. It's $385-ish for this for the G15, and it's only $150 for the GG6. So a pretty substantial price difference between the two machines. Now, does this one outwork this one in almost every situation? Yes. Like the G15, it cuts more, probably has more power, has a longer throw, it's smoother, it's not as loud. This one, you could say, you can argue it probably works better in smaller, intricate areas because this one will bog down probably a little bit more. By the way, this one also has a washer modification on it. So it probably beats it in every situation to the GG6. But when it comes to the price, and you are trying to start this off as a business, I would always recommend either the G6 or something equivalent to this, because and the train of thought is like, if I'm gonna eventually upgrade to this, why waste the money on 150 and just put that towards the 385 and just pay this off quicker and just skip this step altogether? And the reason why I say that is because that's the exact mentality that I had when I first started off, where instead of buying like a $200 McCulloch steamer, I went ahead and purchased the $800 VX5000, or instead of just buying like a small like a little $80 extractor from like Target or something, I went ahead and purchased like the $700 or $500, I forget the price at this point, the Aztec hot rod extractor. So coming from experience and from starting my own business and such, definitely I always recommend starting off with the smaller, cheaper, more affordable machine when you're first starting off, if you're doing this as a business or as a personal hobby. Once you get more experience, once you get more customers, once you're able to get more leads and you're going to be generating revenue on a daily, weekly basis, and you have that demand for more customers, then yes, upgrade at that point to the G15. But when you're first starting off, you don't need the biggest, baddest machines on the planet. This is a lot better, it's sexier. I think it's a little lighter, I think. But you don't want to fall into the trap of like, this looks better, this is the shiny object, this is what I need in order to get started. Start off with the G15 with a GG6 when you're first starting off. And the next argument is going to be like, well, isn't it going to take me longer? It's not going to cut as much. I'm going to spend more time. And I would say, yes, you probably are going to spend more time. Actually, you will spend more time depending on the paint system and what you're trying to correct and trying to do. But you will spend more time with the G6 on your paint or on the paint you're working on for all those reasons I just listed. Now, one thing I always like to point out is that if you were to solve a problem, any problem, right? And I give you every single last tool and product and item and knowledge that you need to get it done, that doesn't really help you build your skill set, right? If I needed you to correct paint and I gave you the G21, the G15, the GG6, a rotary, the Rupes systems, I gave you 6 different compounds, 6 different polishes, 6 different pads, 6 different towels, and I said, okay, give me perfection. It's not that hard to reach almost perfection when you have every single last tool and product in your arsenal. But I feel you will learn a lot much more. You'll become a better detailer and a better business person if you're doing this as a business. If you start off with the smaller, weaker items, because you're able to expand your knowledge much more. And when you finally do upgrade to the bigger, badder products and tools, you're able to apply and use the knowledge you've gained from this one to this one and be more efficient. Whereas if you just start off with the bigger, badder tool, you're skipping this phase, and you're not, in my opinion, you're not going to be as efficient and as knowledgeable if you just go straight to the bigger, badder tool, because the smaller one gets you to think more creatively and helps you be more of a critical problem solver as compared to if you just go to the big bad one. So don't fall into the hype of, like, you know, you see all these detailers using these cool machines and they have all these products and tools and yada yada yada. Like, they got to that point over X amount of time, over working so long, they have customers or they don't have customers, and they just keep on wasting money on things that make them look cool. And just don't fall into the hype. Starting off, I definitely recommend the smaller, more affordable option, not specifically just the GG6, although that's what I use and I recommend because I've been using it for both interior and exterior for so many cars now. So I would highly recommend the GG6. But anything equivalent to it, which to my knowledge is going to be either like the Maguire's machine, which I don't even know what it's called because I haven't looked at it, and the Harbor Freight, which I think is like $80 or something. So, you know, two are both very, very affordable. You can get the same results with this machine as you can with this machine. You most definitely can. Whether you're wet sanding, whether you're compounding, whether you're polishing, whether you're just laying down a wax, you can get the same results as with this machine as you can with this machine. There's no difference in terms of like what they're capable of. It's just the process it takes you to get there. And as I mentioned, I much prefer someone to start off with this machine, just learning, just starting off, and then upgrade when necessary, when able to this machine. So that just wraps up this video. I wanted to make a quick video because I know, I fell into that trap of, like, as soon as you start seeing cool machines or other people using like expensive, nicer looking, sexier looking, more aggressive looking machines, you want to go for that machine. But then you're gonna waste more money. You shouldn't spend that much money when you're first starting off as your business and as a personal hobby. But if you got the money, buy as many machines as you want. So that's why I wanted to make this specific video. I'll be coming out with more paint correction type videos in the future. I just gotta find time to actually be able to film exterior paint correction. So other than that, leave any questions, comments. If you want to see the links to these products, they'll be down in the description box down below. And I'll see you on the next one.